Hey there, Amanda with the Happy Homestead. Welcome back. Today's episode is going to be all about the Instant Pot. I never realized how much I used my Instant Pot until I started filming for the Three Rivers Challenge earlier in the year, right? And I was kind of keeping track of what we were doing and how I was making things and showing you guys. And it was when I was like going through the editing and even sometimes through the cooking, I'd be like, wow, I used my Instant Pot an awful lot. And hey, there's nothing wrong with that. I really do enjoy using it. It is a time saver. It's a saver when it comes to cleaning things up in the kitchen, and it just sometimes makes life a little bit easier. So today I'm going to show you 3 meals over 3 separate days, our 3 dinners of what we're using the Instant Pot for. And I really tried to give this a little thought, right? Because I think there's some things that we all probably know we can do in the Instant Pot. So forgive me if these are 3 meals that you do all the time and they're not brand new to you. But I wanted to try and come up with some ideas that maybe were just a little bit different and maybe have you think of different ways to use your Instant Pot. So tonight, it is, by the way, it was like 90 something degrees last week, and now the high is 68. So it's dropped about 20 degrees in the last week. And so we're gonna have beef with barley soup tonight. Now, I've actually never made this, but I'm really just kind of making this a play on beef stew. And instead of adding potatoes, I'm adding barley. So I have this beautiful organic pearl barley that I got in one of our Azure Standard orders this year, I think 2 months ago. And I haven't done anything with it yet. And this just sounded really good to me. So we're going to use that in our beef with barley soup. I have all of my ingredients somewhat ready. And so we're gonna start putting this together, and I'm gonna show you how easy it is. So I have about 2.5 pounds of stew meat here. It was actually a chuck roast, boneless chuck roast that we had in our freezer, and I trimmed it and chopped it into rough chunks. So stew meat, 2.5 pounds. I've got 1 large onion, 3 ribs of celery, and 3 carrots chopped. I also have 4 cloves of garlic right here minced. I have 2 quarts of home canned beef stock. You could also buy beef stock. I've got coconut aminos. You can use soy sauce, Worcestershire sauce, our barley, olive oil, fresh rosemary, a can of tomato paste, salt, pepper, and some dried thyme. So this is kind of just a generic recipe. I'm not following anything in particular, but again, I'm hoping to inspire you to just do this yourself and make it your own. So the first thing we need to do is brown the meat. So I'm going to put this on saute. Put a little olive oil in here. And because I have a decent amount of beef here, I'm going to have to do this in batches. But I'm going to throw some beef in, cover it without creating layers, right? I just want a single layer of beef on the hot oil. I'll turn it, but the point is to kind of brown it and seal some of those juices and that flavor in. Then I'll take that out and work the next batch. Now, you could coat your stew meat in flour. Sometimes people do that as well. I am not. Not because it doesn't taste good, but because I just don't care to take that step today. Okay, so all of the beef is done, and it's on the plate here. We're now going to saute the vegetables. So all I did was add salt, pepper, and the dried thyme. I'm going to add our garlic. A little Worcestershire, coconut aminos or soy sauce, about 3 to 4 tablespoons, or maybe a little bit more, of tomato paste. I'm going to add the rest of the beef in, as well as all of the juices. Turned off the saute function, and now we're going to add in our 2 quarts of beef stock. One cup of the pearl barley. And our fresh rosemary, just like that. And then we'll take it out like that as well. We're gonna put that on high pressure for 20 minutes, and then we're gonna keep warm until we're ready to eat. So it has been sitting here for a couple of hours. I let it natural release, and it was on staying warm. The house smelled amazing. It looks so good. It is going to be so comforting. And then we just have a piece of whole wheat sourdough with some butter. Bon appetit. Welcome back. It is night 2 of our Instant Pot dinners, and it's Tuesday. And I remember last time I said that, I was like, but it's not Taco Tuesday, it's Tikka Tuesday. If you didn't see that one, click above and you can see how we did Tikka Tuesday. Today's kind of Taco Tuesday, but again, these are Instant Pot meals. So we are doing enchilada in the Instant Pot. I don't even know if I said that right. It's like a 1-pot enchilada. That's what we're doing. We're doing rice, some veggies, some wonderful spices, some salsa verde, black beans. This is a vegetarian dish. That's how we're making it tonight. And I have exactly 18 minutes before I need to go leave and pick up my kids from school. So I need to get this in the Instant Pot pronto. I have 1 small onion chopped, 3 cloves garlic minced, and then 1 orange bell pepper chopped. And I'm just gonna throw some olive oil in my Instant Pot. I'm gonna put it on saute mode. It helps if you plug it in. Put that on saute mode, just put a little olive oil in. And I'm gonna throw these vegetables in quick and get them softened up. All right, I already have my black beans cooked. Now, if you don't have dry black beans that you can then just cook in the Instant Pot, you can do 1 can of black beans. So this is approximately 1 can. I just kind of threw some dried beans in the Instant Pot earlier today. I'm sorry, I'm dripping water from the beans all over myself. And I cooked them on 20 minutes, so I just have some beans cooked. All right, we also have a bag of corn. I'll probably only use half of this. This is the 10-ounce bag. I'll probably just throw half of that in. I've got a 14.5-ounce can of diced tomatoes. Fire roasted tomatoes would work really well too. I just don't have those. I've got some organic long brown rice. We're gonna do 1.5 cups of this. I've got Salsa Verde. This is from tomatillos that we grew last summer. We didn't get a huge harvest, so I think I only had like 3 pints. And after I used this one, I have 1 left. But we've got a good tomatillo harvest so far going this year. So I'm gonna throw this in, as well as some homemade chicken broth, bone broth, chicken stock that I did just the other day. So I'm gonna get these vegetables softened up. I'm gonna throw some spices in, some salt, pepper, cumin, ground coriander, smoked paprika, and then just throw everything else in and get it going for about 25 minutes. So the thought process is that we're just gonna put some of this in a bowl or on a plate and dip it with some tortilla chips. So I just did salt, pepper. This is a little smoked paprika, oregano, ground cumin, ground coriander, and a little bit of chili powder. I'm going to add in our tomatoes. It's about half of the bag of corn. Black beans. All right, let's get this Tomatillo Salsa in. Gonna do 1.5 cups of organic long grain brown rice. And I have 1 quart of that chicken bone broth, like I said. So I'm just gonna throw that all in. And this is dinner. Uncooked, mind you, but this is our dinner. And like I said, I've got some tortilla chips. So I'm gonna put this on high pressure for about 25 minutes. I'm just gonna let it naturally release. I'm not even gonna worry about releasing it. And then once it's done, once we're ready to eat, I should be able to just spoon this out and have the kids dip it with tortilla chips. All right, it is time to get dinner on the table. Let's see how this looks. It smells really good. So it's kind of soupy. I did not intend it to be soupy, but it's a little soupy, but that's okay. It actually looks really good. So I am gonna let this sit with the lid off for a little bit because it is very hot before I start putting it into some bowls with chips. And then I've got some cheese here that I'll put on top and we'll have our dinner.
Let me see. Let's see how this looks. Okay. See the girl in this shirt and skirt.
Bon appetit. Welcome back. It is our last meal with our Instant Pot episode here. And I've filmed this actually over a 2-week period. So I've had all these ideas of things I wanted to do in the Instant Pot to show you different ways to do things. And this is the one I've settled on for the last meal. We love Thai food. I especially love Thai food. Red curry is one of my favorites. But a close second is pad thai. And I'm gonna do pad thai tonight because I think that's a really good entry meal for folks that maybe have never tried Thai food before, or they get intimidated by making it at home. And so pad thai is a noodle dish. It can be made with vegetables, tofu, which is what we're going to be using today, chicken, shrimp. You choose your protein if you choose one at all. Really the base is the same. It's a peanut sauce base with some sort of noodle. Typically rice noodles. We don't have pad thai rice noodles in the house, and I'm kind of a person that doesn't go to the store just if I need 1 or 2 things, right? Like, let's make do with what we got. We can do this. And so I have these ramen noodles. I got these on an Azure order not too long ago. So we're gonna use these. It's not quite the same, but it's gonna be delicious. Now, if you don't have the pad thai rice noodles or ramen noodles, you can use spaghetti. You can use a spaghetti or like an angel hair pasta, a really thin pasta. If fettuccine is all you have, then go with that, right? But the lighter, the skinnier the noodle, the better. The better the flavor imparts in this dish. So again, I'm doing tofu today because we have that in the house and I need to use it up, and this is a great way to do it. But feel free to add in some cooked chicken or some shrimp, or just leave it at veggies. So you know me, I like to make it as simple as possible. I have a block of tofu here. Now, if you've never worked with tofu, you need to understand that it can come in different textures or different firmness is what they're called. I usually go with the extra firm. It just gives it a more meatier flavor, where some of the other tofus could be used in other types of applications. So this is a block of extra firm tofu that I took out of the packaging. I actually put it on one of my dehydrator racks, just something where all the liquid can come through it, right? And then I put this on and I weighed it down with like a mason jar full of water, just something to help press some of that extra liquid out of the tofu. So when you press the liquid out, it just helps it absorb your other flavors a little bit easier. So I let this press for about 30 minutes while I went about my day, and then I can feel that a lot of the moisture is gone and it's ready for us to work with. This is a step you don't have to take, right? If you're going to use tofu and you prefer not to press it, you absolutely don't have to. Just know that it does help impart the flavors a little bit better. So I'm actually going to cut my tofu block in half to make 2 blocks, and then I'm going to cut it into about 1/2-inch squares. Actually, while I'm doing that, I want to heat my oil up. So I'm going to put a little avocado oil in my Instant Pot and hit saute to get that warmed up. So while the oil's heating up, I got my tofu cut. I wanted to show you some of the vegetables that we're using today. I've got some frozen green beans. I have some carrots that are sliced really thin, as well as 1 red bell pepper, 1 small onion, and then 2 cloves of garlic and about 1 inch of ginger that is all minced. So I've got all my veggies. Now, you don't have to do these vegetables, right? I would imagine that you're still gonna wanna do onion, garlic, ginger, and carrots. But beyond that, it's totally up to you. You could do broccoli, you can do bamboo shoots, you can do squash, like a zucchini or a yellow squash. Whatever you have on hand, that works. All right, let's go ahead and get our tofu in. I'm going to coat with some salt and pepper. As well as a little ground coriander. Some dried parsley. All right, I'm gonna start taking the tofu out now and putting it back on the plate so I can saute my vegetables. I'm gonna do a dab of toasted sesame oil. That was a little more than a dab. little salt and pepper. I'm gonna add some more of that ground coriander. I'm going to add the tiniest amount of sriracha sauce, just to give it a little heat and a little flavor. Can't do too much because my children need to eat this. I've got some home canned chicken broth here, chicken stock. I added about a cup. I don't have any rice wine vinegar or rice vinegar, so I'm just going to use a little apple cider vinegar, about 1 tablespoon. You'll notice I'm truly not measuring much, guys, and I'm sorry. For those of you that really need that, I'm sorry. This is just how I cook. I really try to make it simple so that everyone can be happy, mama included, right? I'm gonna add just a dash of soy sauce. And now we're gonna add peanut butter. This is the best part of pad thai. Now I'm adding a decent amount. I'm gonna say about a half a cup, just because we really enjoy that peanut flavor. Now it's okay that it's not gonna fully mix in right now. And I'm going to put this, on high pressure for just 3 minutes. So I'm gonna let this pressure cook for 3 minutes. Once the 3 minutes is up and the timer goes off, I'm going to count then 10 minutes from that point. At the 10-minute mark, I will manually release that vent. And at that point, we will add in our ramen noodles. Now, when you open the noodles, they look like this. They come in these packs, kind of like when you were kids, right? And we would have those ramen noodle soups, kind of like that. So you're actually just kind of break it apart as you put it in, right? But after you release, the 10 minutes is up, you manually release, then you're gonna throw in some of your noodles. Now I would probably do for this amount between 2 and 3 blocks. This is not gonna make more than, I'm gonna say between 4 and 6 meals. Decent sized meals, not huge amounts, but enough for our family for dinner tonight and then leftovers for the kids and maybe myself tomorrow. And then we'll also throw our tofu in after that release is done as well. So basically everything is still really hot and the noodles don't take any time at all to cook. We throw them in, we throw the tofu in, put the lid back on, wait a few minutes, and then kind of toss it all together, and you're gonna have your most amazing pad thai. So at that point, if you're following this recipe the way I'm demonstrating and showing you today, you're done. And then you can top with some fresh cilantro and some lime juice and maybe some crushed peanuts, and you're good to go. You're golden. That's like the best pad thai here at home. If you're using a different type of noodle other than these ramen noodles, and different other than the pad thai rice noodles, right? If you're using a spaghetti, angel hair, fettuccine, you want to make sure that you are adding enough liquid in your Instant Pot, and you're gonna be adding your noodles in with it to cook. And it's gonna take longer than 3 minutes. I would probably go to about 5 or 6 minutes, right? But you wanna make sure you have enough chicken stock or water if you're using water to really account for that pasta, that wheat-based noodle rather than the rice-based. If you're just starting out, go with either these or the pad thai rice noodles. If you're using a different protein other than tofu, I would just cook your chicken kind of like I did with the tofu. Cut your chicken in really small pieces, saute it, add some of your spices to it, and take it out. Do your veggies just like I did, but then throw your chicken back in with the Instant Pot to come up to pressure. right, I let it sit for about 10 minutes. It just lets the noodles hydrate. And the longer you let it sit, the more that the noodles will really absorb the sauce. But oh, it smells so good. Little mishap, not the prettiest plating, but it's good. So I would top this with some fresh cilantro, a squeeze of fresh lime juice, and some chopped peanuts just to make it totally authentic. Bon appetit! Thanks for joining me in this Instant Pot series. I hope you found this valuable. The Instant Pot is really a revolutionized invention for the kitchen. It really is. It just makes life easier sometimes. Let me know what your favorite meal is to cook in the Instant Pot. I'd love to hear it, and let me know if you try any of these. Take care. Stay healthy. Stay well. Bye-bye.